Today, my friends, we're talking about the unfortunate thing that is the overheating issue with the Sony A7 IV that a lot of us are encountering. But don't worry, there are some things that you can do to either reduce or eliminate this completely. I had the same issue when I first started shooting with this camera, and after chatting with Sony and kind of fine-tuning how I shoot and some of my settings, I pretty much eliminated the overheating issue altogether. So hopefully I can pass this along to you and maybe at least minimize what's going on. So do keep in mind that depending on your environment, if you are in an incredibly hot environment, this is a hybrid camera. It's not a dedicated video camera. And as such, there are compromises, and unfortunately those come at the cost of heat sinks and fans and things. We wanted pro video, we wanted pro photo in a do everything body, and unfortunately that doesn't really exist unless you get into something like the A1, which is astronomically expensive. So let's jump in and talk about a few of the settings that you can change right away to hopefully get some relief from this very annoying issue. Number one is change the temperature threshold in the menu. This right off the bat is definitely going to extend your recording time. To do this, just head into your menu and find number 47 out of 51, which will be auto power off temp. From the factory, it does come set as standard. You want to switch this over to high, and that's it. Now, in terms of efficiency, this camera is definitely worse than its predecessor, the Sony A7 III, because it's just got a lot more going on, a lot more processing power, a lot higher quality photo and video, bigger megapixel sensor, and it's using more energy. So turn off the things that you're not using. And a few of those things that really make a big difference are Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and NFC. You can actually go in and throw it into airplane mode. Now that is kind of annoying if you wanted to use it kind of remote shooting from the Sony app, but it's really not the end of the world depending on where you are. I really like to use the app, and with some of the other tips and tricks, I can definitely get away with it. But if you are shooting for long periods of time and you're shooting 10-bit per se and you need this thing definitely to not overheat, well, consider turning it to airplane mode and freeing up some resources for your camera to not create as much heat once again. To find these options, you're going to cruise down to your network tab, the green one, and there you'll find your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, and down at the network option, you'll find the option to turn on airplane mode, which will basically turn off everything you'll find in the tab here. If there are certain features more important than others to you, go through and see which one causes more heat and allows you to record for longer. Next up, one really easy thing that you might not have considered is actually just opening up the LCD screen here, and that's going to draw the heat from the LCD away from the body of the camera and cooling it down just a little bit. That might seem relatively self-explanatory, but sometimes you forget, or if there's something in the way like your cords and whatnot, just keep that in mind, and that's another thing that you can do to hopefully draw some of that heat away from the camera. Next, if you're streaming or using an external recorder, don't also record to the camera as well. Let those things do the heavy lifting, like your computer or the external recorder, and that lets the camera not generate all that heat from recording internally. Another tip from Sony was that because the S&Q and video modes actually use more power than photo mode, they recommend to actually wait till you're ready to shoot the video to switch over to it from photo mode, which uses less power. And yeah, again, for me, a little bit inconvenient, but not the end of the world. And finally, plan ahead. Research where you're going, where you're going to be shooting, and if possible, have some windows open, have a fan going that's not going to disrupt your audio if necessary, or definitely check the weather out and maybe have some shade on your camera if you're in direct sunlight. Little things like that do make the big difference, and yeah, this is a very, very annoying thing for you video shooters, so definitely just do everything that you can. Hopefully there's going to be a firmware update that could improve the efficiency of this camera, but it is what it is for now, guys. An all-around great camera with a lot of great features, so we're just gonna have to find some workarounds for now. Anyways, I hope this video helped you, and if you did like it and enjoy it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Drop all your questions and your comments down below if you have any other tips or tricks. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and like always, make mistakes, be yourself, and get out there and take some more pictures. See you in the next one.